Well, hello, Dan. We're back.
We are. But I missed you so much in the last 90 minutes.
I missed you so much too in the last 90 minutes. Well, I'm glad we're back though, because we have a little addendum to our previous episode, which is our friend, here she is, Abby. Abby, CEO of Saratoga Living Magazine. Abby, thank you so much for joining us. We were going to have you on 90 minutes ago, but technical difficulties ensued. And so we're so happy to have you back now because we want to talk about, it's kind of obscured here. Hold on.
Yeah, get closer.
I know. Hold on. I'm taking you. Ooh, can you see it?
God. Well, it's weird. It's like in 3D.
I know it is in 3D.
Oh, that's actually kind of cool in a certain way.
Wait,
yeah, go back. There we go.
There we go. Robin figured out. There we go. Saratoga Living 25th anniversary issue that features the Saratoga 25. Okay, I'm pulling you guys back in. There we go.
It's Robin's dream to have the whole camera to herself.
Just me. No, Abby, we're so excited to have you on today because, first of all, this is a beautiful, beautiful copy of the magazine. The cover is beautiful, but also you have this incredible list in here of the Saratoga 25 that we really wanted to talk to you about. Talk to you about who's on there, how you picked them, how you're celebrating them, everything. So let's just dive right in. How did we come up with this list and who is it about?
I'm glad you asked. A lot of people have been asking us that, and media, we like to have our editorial meetings and we think long and hard about absolutely everything. And we really wanted a collective of people who really make up the fabric of our town. We wanted a bunch of industries represented. We wanted different age groups. We wanted the future represented. All of that in one big collective. And so when there's a claim to fame section about what has made them most famous, that is not why they were chosen. We chose them based on what is going on in the zeitgeist right now, what they've done recently. We did do a Saratoga 20, and we didn't want to repeat any of them. And so we were just looking at a million different things, and we love our Saratoga 25. Every single one of them has done spectacular things for our city, and we're very, very, very excited.
So one of the things I noticed right away, which I thought was like kind of really just cool and refreshing, is that unlike a lot of other lists I've seen in other publications, you didn't just go with advertisers.
Oh no. Definitely not. Our own sales team learned with the public who was on the list. And that was really important to us. The separation of church and state. We work very closely with a lot of our advertisers. We work closely with our sales team. Being in a local magazine, that's just how it's done. But for something like this, the separation of church and state had to be there.
So there's so many. So some of these faces are, super familiar to Saratogians, like Sunny and Julie Bonaccio, who are on the cover, are known to a lot of folks. There's also some, amazing people on here who we know, like Ed and Lisa Mitzen, incredible. Susan Dake, we know, incredible. But there's some other folks who are kind of lesser known on here, who I wanted to talk about, who are kind of known in kind of more of a niche way. Like, for example, Daniel, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Cesare?
Casari would be the Italian way, but I don't know how he pronounces it. He's Dan.
Yeah, thank you. So other Dan, who's here right now. Dan, do you know Dan?
Met him, have sat in his deli. He's definitely he marches to the beat of his own drummer, right? He's tough to deal with at first, and then you end up liking him.
This Dan right here.
He loves being that tough guy to deal with. That's I think he takes great pride in that. But all of the sort of grumpiness is about really standing up for small business in Saratoga. He's the one who has the guts to get on Instagram and tell you, what percentage DoorDash is taking from the restaurant or anything like that. And so the messages that he has, given over time really, really, really stood up for small business. And then possibly the most important thing was that he gave rotisserie chickens to any family who said they needed it. And everyone, we all know that Saratoga has this amazing, generous spirit, but he made the national news with his rotisserie chicken program, where my mom in Albuquerque saw him and now wants to go to the deli whenever she's in town. So the fact that he took what we already know, that Saratoga is generous, and made sure that the nation knew that, and it was done in the purest way possible by donating food to those in need. So he was one of our first ones that we chose.
So I just have to say that a lot of people know Dan from Saratoga Broadway Deli because of his social media posts.
Yes.
And they're really incredible. And I just wanted to share one as an example. This
Great.
is a recent one, Saratoga Broadway Deli. And they're all very, I don't know why I can't show anything today on this
blurred background.
Yeah, they all look very similar. But so this is possibly unpopular opinions. As someone who goes out to eat a lot, probably more than I should, I have some thoughts. I don't want your homemade ketchup. It's never as good as commercial ketchup. I'm tired of smash burgers. I want a medium rare burger. Ranch dressing in general is an abomination, especially on pizza. Balsamic reduction, this is not the cure for your terrible out of season caprese salad. And I just crack up when I read things like that. First of all, I agree with every single thing, but I just crack up. And they're just so raw and so just on the money, and they make everybody laugh. I mean, that post on Facebook got 213 likes. People just they love it. And then I was in Saratoga Broadway Deli over the weekend, and apparently they'd had a very busy Saturday, and people were being especially cranky. And so there was a sign taped on the register, a handwritten little sign taped on the register, and it said, "I am very nice, but y'all are testing me, not today." And it's just these little things that make him kind of the most lovable curmudgeon, but he really does kind of point out these kind of hard truths about what it's like to run a small business, what it's like to run a small business in Saratoga with some of our special events, and just what the staff goes through, what the businesses go through. And it's really kind of, he's really a refreshing voice on social media. And if he's listening, Dan, which if you do listen to this, Dan, you got to do some social media takeovers for other businesses. You could make a killing doing it. I feel like other retailers, other restaurants would freaking love it. And I would love to see it happen. So I just thought he was an awesome, awesome choice. And I loved having him on there. My son is commenting right now, Charlie Dalton, go pick up your brother Tommy at school. Sorry. Excuse me for that. So other folks on here, did you have any personal favorites, Abby, on here that you wanted to talk about?
Since we're talking about the ones that aren't bold-faced names already, Kira Meyer, our teenager.
Yes.
Really, I mean, to me, the future is just so important. And, I think Dan and I have talked about that a lot. A lot of our industries in town need to look at the future a little bit more. Kira not only is the editor of her school newspaper, so when it comes to my mission of saving local journalism, obviously, have to love her there. But what made her one of the Saratoga 25 is that she took it one level farther and wants to make sure that literacy is preserved, and she makes sure that every single baby born in Saratoga Hospital receives a book to take home with them and literacy materials. And it really is sort of unbelievable how many kids arrive at kindergarten and have never read a book with their parents. And so, that to me, she has her own organization set up with vice presidents and CFO. And if that's our future is bright, and we're very excited to have her.
That is really neat that you did that, and you talked about the diversity of everybody, young, old, and so forth, and that is terrific to have somebody that young who's so deserving of it. What a terrific idea that is.
I completely agree, and I think that's such a special thing, and such a smart thing too, to kind of think of that and connect those dots and do it with Saratoga Hospital. Speaking of Saratoga Hospital, I loved that you profiled the new president and CEO of Saratoga Hospital, because it's a woman, Jill Johnson Van Kuren, and I'm not sure a lot of people know her yet. And so I was really glad to see her included, because Angelo Calboni, who was the former CEO, was such a force. He was such a presence in Saratoga. And I just think it's really exciting for people to get to know Jill and to have a woman running our great hospital. I loved seeing her in the magazine as well. I thought that was thought that was awesome.
We absolutely wanted her because, like you said, a woman, and not only is she running the hospital right now, she's running it, and after the worst catastrophe in healthcare that our generation has seen, and her job has not been easy, and so we wanted to show our support.
Yeah, I think running a hospital and managing a hospital right now has got to be one of the most challenging times in history, given the employment crisis they're facing, retaining people, not to mention the struggles they're having with insurance and reimbursements. And I mean, financially and with the employment side, I think it couldn't be a more challenging time. Although at the same token, I think that we have one of the most incredible community hospitals in the country. It's consistently ranked that way when these national rankings come out. And so, on one hand, I feel like she's really lucky to be at Saratoga Hospital, but on the other hand, yes, it couldn't be a more challenging time to be in that line of work for sure.
Absolutely. And to show you how all the generations sort of work together in ways that you might not, see on the surface. When Kira was having her photo taken, she told us that the first person to donate money to her organization was Susan Dake. And so, and then also Saratoga Hospital is where where Kira, donates all of the books. And so you can see how every single generation really matters when it comes to the success of our town,
You lead me into a question here because I didn't look at the credits. Who did that phenomenal photography? And the fact that I'm noticing it, I don't notice things like that. I'm an aggregator. I copy, paste, boom, bomb, words, text, photo. That really moved me, that photography.
Thank you. Her name is Rachel Lindsay from the Content Agency is the name of her agency. She does a lot of national work, but a lot of Saratoga stuff. If you're looking on Instagram and you're seeing all the gorgeous cocktails from our Caroline Street bars, for example, she took most of those photos. She's incredible.
Speaking of great photos and also people that I'm a huge fan of, my dear friend, Commissioner Jason Golub. I love that he was included here. And yes. I loved exactly the way you described him. Claim to fame, Saratoga's Commissioner of Public Works, the city's first Black commissioner ever, and a calm voice of reason during a particularly raucous local government spell. Perfectly articulated. I couldn't agree more. He is the only calm voice of reason during a particularly raucous spell in city government. Dan, would you agree?
Yeah, he's the only one that hasn't been deep into the attack mode that I've seen there. Some have been on one side or the other. To his credit, he's been more statesman-like.
And Dan, he takes a good picture, people. Can't deny he takes a great picture.
That is a great picture. They were all great.
No, they are all great.
Thank you. Yes, that insider info sort of came from listening to your podcast. So thank you. I was especially remembering the episode when the meeting got cut off, and then you guys shared the audio of what happened after the cameras got shut down, and even just that alone, how he handled that, we knew that he would be our guy.
He was tremendous. Also in here, Garland Nelson. He's such also a force in Saratoga, and for me, he brings so much joy to Saratoga through his music. Just through his presence and his spirit. He's someone who just means a lot to me and his quote right here. I remember being at the arcade building, setting up my full drum kit and having people come and join me and just jam out. Why? Just for the sake of jamming. Foot traffic really made it easy for me to be on the street and just play. And I don't know if you remember during the pandemic, he did this incredible thing where he had, I think it was Bonaccio, got these these beds with like flatbeds or trucks with flatbeds. And he set up on the trucks and literally drove slowly around town. And he just played music to just bring music and entertainment to people during a time where we couldn't congregate and get together and listen to music. Right. And it was just such a joyous, awesome thing. And such a thing that Garland would do, to kind of just spread music and cheer.
The pure joy of the music itself. I mean, that's what he's about. And, we try not to harp on COVID anymore in the magazine, but the reality is the effects we're still, feeling the residual effects. And so sort of things like that they did during COVID really, really mattered to us.
Did you miss that one, Dan?
Wait, say that again?
Did you miss it when he did that?
Oh yeah, I didn't know anything about it. I'm just hearing about it now. I remember when the fire department came around during COVID, and the police department, and the horses That's what it was. It was the horses that came down, and that was thrilling. So I'm sad that I missed Garland or that he missed my street.
It was very cool. He mostly did it in the downtown area, but it was very cool. And I also remember it being like very cold, as I recall. So he was probably also pretty chilly, but it was pretty incredible. So there's an event, is there not, to celebrate these pretty incredible folks?
Absolutely. And all the ones we've mentioned are indeed coming next Thursday, June 8th. At Putnam Place right here downtown. I think the best way to probably get tickets, you can search for us on Eventbrite at any time, but also it's on our homepage on our website, saratogaliving.com.
That's amazing.
And also any social media has it all over it. So Instagram at Saratoga Living, you'll find it as well.
Touch on that a little more. What's it going to be inside? You know.
It's a cocktail party to celebrate these guys. We have a few little surprises that I'm not going to quite share yet. Di Crescente is doing the welcome drink. We've got a special sparkling wine for everybody with Saratoga in the name. And then lots of food, the cocktail party, and then we will be doing a little presentation for each one of the 25.
I mean, I just feel like with this group, it's going to be such a eclectic but wonderful group of people. I mean, I think the crowd is going to be fantastic just based on the people you've selected and who they're going to be bringing. You know, I can't imagine it's going to be a great cross section of Saratogians.
I think so. Yes. I mean, we sold a lot of tickets, and it's been fun to see, you know, who's inviting who and a lot of new names. And we're so excited. It's going to be just a really fun, feel good evening. I mean, with this, you know, this collective group, I mean, you can't get any more feel good than that. We're super pumped.
Are there any other highlights in this particular issue that you want to talk about? Because there's so much good stuff in here.
Absolutely. One of our favorite things was the memories. We opened it up to our readers to send in their favorite memory in the past. I think we did in the last 25 years. And we got some good ones. The timeline of memories is definitely one of my favorite reads that we've done. And everyone was just kind of excited to have the chance to be in the magazine. And they told great stories and sent in great photos. It's really fun.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I love that.
I haven't been to a store or anything recently. Remind people where they can pick up the free print copies of your magazine.
Yep, it absolutely is free. We're in Price Chopper, Hannaford, Market 32, all around downtown. Most of the boutiques have them. Some stewards have them. And we do distribute as far north as Glens Falls and south into Hudson. So you can definitely find them.
This timeline of memories is pretty awesome, I have to say. I'm looking at it right now, and like someone's mentioning in 2009 when Coldplay came to SPAC, I went to that show. It was so freaking awesome. Yeah, so this is really fun. I mean, so many of these memories, like also I remember and are like special memories to me as well. What a cool way to celebrate an anniversary, you know, instead of making it about the magazine, making it about other people's memories.
Yeah, I mean, the role that SPAC has played in the history of Saratoga is pretty incredible. That Coldplay concert was right before he crossed the corner into super stardom. And so he came out into the crowd and it sounded really amazing. So yeah, those are the kinds of memories that you'll find.
And to me personally, I have a personal one as well. I think that's where I read it about Rachel Alexandra in 2009. Did I read that? Okay. I was there with my late brother and my late mother. And that was so exciting, whether you were a horse fan or not. She came around the turn and either took the lead or had the lead. I can't remember. And I never, of all the horse races I attended, I never heard a crowd roar. And that crowd roared. Oh my God. I thought all horses would be spooked. It was so like focused and loud. Wow, was that thrilling.
I love it. So that absolutely is on the memory timeline. Plus, Brian Bouye from the Racing Museum, who does a lot of our horse racing writing, he also picked the top 25 moments in the past 25 years in horse racing. So, Dan, you have to look at that.
He's so great. He does such great racing coverage. He's a treasure. He's a wealth of knowledge.
I believe there's two Brian Bouyes because nobody can put out as much product as he does.
Oh, I know.
Conspiracy theory. There's two Brians. There's also great coverage of your Dress to Impress event, which is always so fun. So many good photos of those dresses. Well, this is here. This is awesome. It's such a good issue. And then of course on the back, it's like it's like 2 magazines in one, because you've got your Capital Region Living, Bestie's Food and Drink. Sorry, the blurred background. There we go.
Perfect.
You've got your 2-in-1.
Yes, and a lot of our favorite Saratoga businesses did really well in the Besties this year. So representing Saratoga, representing the entire Capital Region, it's very exciting.
Well, we love hearing about it. We love having you on.
Right.
Congratulations to everyone in the Saratoga 25. And
Yes.
everybody get tickets to the party next week. And
Thank
Abby,
you.
we love having you on. Thank you for coming
Thank
on.
you guys so much. I'll see you Thursday at the party.
We will see you
Great.
Thursday.
Thanks,
Thank
Abby.
you. Bye.
Bye.